The discussion today of classical Indian epistemology with contemporary philosophers and scientists not only, I think, helps them get clear about certain issues that are common to all human beings, but also it helps, I think, us specialists, historians of classical Indian thought, to get a better grip on the issues as they were considered back in classical times. I guess that presupposes that there is a certain universality of outlook and a sort of cross-cultural convergence, but that's quite an exciting idea. I mean, and particularly in our times where, I don't know, there's so much sort of mindless cultural relativism, to see contemporary scientists and philosophers really being stimulated and engaging with issues broached by the classical epistemologists is exciting in the one way, but also for us historians of ideas too, that really brings new eyes to our subject matter. I wasn't surprised by by Ned Block's insistence on a hard problem of consciousness, even though I'm principally an historian of ideas. I live in a philosophy department at the University of Texas, and many of my colleagues are engaged, not to say obsessed, with the mind-body problem, and I do think he's right that there is a explanatory gap, and of course this is more the sort of metaphysics of consciousness instead of our topic in the panel, knowledge. But no, I wasn't surprised by that.
In his paper, Thupten Jinpa insists that it's in dialogues like these, it's very important to take into account the self-understanding of the tradition that you're having a dialogue with. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I have two sets of thoughts about this. On the one hand, I am very happy to see contemporary philosophers and scientists such as Ned Block and Susan Carey engaging with classical Indian and Buddhist positions and finding something valuable there, finding something stimulating. And I think that they help us classical scholars to see with new eyes some of the old material. On the other hand, it's true that there has to be quite a lot of effort to appreciate Buddhist and other classical Indian positions in the full richness of their intellectual context. To see that there's not just one position that somehow feeds into a modern understanding of consciousness or perception or whatever the topic is, but there's a whole nexus of interlocking views that were hotly debated by Buddhists and their opponents in classical times. And one of the dangers of a venue such as this is that the selectivity of the modern people who tends to, well, for people who don't know very much about the richness of the classical scene, it skews it somewhat and makes it seem that certain issues are more important than they really were, et cetera, et cetera.